Hi Aquarius, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your October 2025 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as OBM from us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always. And also pulled the 4 agreements and wisdom oracle card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off for Roll Nose Astrology ice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, we have Leo. So Leo is actually your 7th house of partnerships, relationships, and contracts. Astrologically speaking, it's a little quiet there right now, but you still might be feeling some focus in that area of life. Alright, 12. So 12th house energy for you guys is Capricorn. Also a pretty quiet part of the zodiac at this time, but in general, 12th house points to spirituality, blind spots, and mental health. And we have Saturn. So Saturn is currently retrograde in Pisces, which is your 2nd house of possession, self-worth, and finances. So you might be feeling some restrictions there, but also finding ways to work around them. All right, we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. In the main situation, we have the 7 of Pentacles, Taurus energy. And challenging that, we have the Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter energy. So I'm seeing with this could just be saying that you might feel like you're, getting a little bit worn down, possibly putting a lot of work towards something, but feeling like there's diminishing returns on that work at this time. And with the Wheel of Fortune in a challenge position, it could just be saying that, it's just more so a timing thing, which to me says that the work that you're putting in isn't necessarily going to waste, but it's just going to have to play out until you actually start to see tangible results for that work. In the foundation position, we have the 2 of Cups. So, of course, with the artwork here, people tend to think more of love relationships around this, but especially for you guys, given that Cancer energy is your 6th house of work and daily routines, this could also just be pointing to a meeting of the minds that you might come across within your work environment. So, for example, let's say because you're feeling frustrated where you're currently at, right? If you start to look for employment elsewhere, maybe this is saying that you'll go on an interview and really feel like whoever you interview with, you might be like, oh, this is a much better fit for what I'd ultimately like to do versus where I'm currently at now. So that's just one example of how that could play out. But yes, of course, for some of you, this could be more of a romantic connection as well. In the past position, we have the Ace of Cups. So yeah, so to me this says that you might have seen some signs that this situation would be coming to play at some point, but you might have overlooked it thinking that, oh, well, it's not here now, so I'm not going to give it much thought, right? Or you might have even just been dismissive of it, like, that's not really going to happen. But either way, I feel like this is saying you might have seen some signs that this was a situation that was coming forward. In the present position, we have the Moon. So yeah, so this could just be saying that for some of you still might not necessarily be seeing the situation clearly right now, right? So you might not necessarily feel like, again, like I said, I feel like you might just be feeling a little bit defeated to an extent, feeling like what you're doing isn't going to pay off in some way, but it looks like ultimately it will. But again, right now it could just be saying that currently you just feel like you don't necessarily see that light at the end of the tunnel. Given that this is Moon energy and we're just about to have that new moon solar eclipse in Virgo coming up in a couple of days. This could just be saying that could be when you really feel that energy bubbling up. In the near future position, we have the 7 of Cups. So this is Scorpio energy here. So yeah, could just be saying one of those things where maybe you go from feeling like you're getting no recognition around your work to maybe where you might start to get multiple offers for the work you're doing, right? Or multiple people that want to partner up with you in some way, and then not necessarily knowing which way to go with all those options. in the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Page of Pentacles. So to me, ultimately, this says that there is a part of you that knows that you're close, right? But again, it could just be you might feel like you've been feeling that way for too long, right? So you could just start to lose a little faith there. If we look at the artwork, we could see that Pentacle was just out of their hands, right? So you could just feel like, there's this goal you've been striving toward, and there is that part of you that knows, like, okay, I'm close, but then it just might feel like you're spinning your wheels to where you're like, okay, I get that I'm close, but it feels like I already should have gotten that. What's going on, right? So you could just be feeling like you're a little bit stuck in place. In the environment position, we have the King of Pentacles. So this is Taurus energy here. And yeah, to me, this says that ultimately this is an indicator that that energy is at play, right? And again, like I said, I feel like you just might be feeling a little bit stagnant right now and feel like you're not moving toward that end goal, but it looks like you're still making progress and still moving forward. It just might not seem like it at this time. All right. In the Hopes or Fears position, we have the Five of Wands. So maybe some of you have been holding yourselves back to an extent because you are a little bit concerned about things becoming combative, right? Or so, for example, if you've been in a certain job because you've grown comfortable with it, but you have maybe fear of putting your resume out there in a more competitive field, right? Things along those lines there. It could just be saying that you could just be psyching yourselves out around certain things at this time. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Ace of Swords. So this definitely looks like a positive outcome there because I feel like this is going to give you that clarity that you might feel like you're lacking with the Moon and then the Seven of Cups in the near future. So like I said, for some of you, it really is that you're already physically closer to your goal than you think, but you just don't feel like you are. And then for those of you where you truly are a little bit behind on your goal, I feel like you're going to get some insight on how to get forward movement this month anyway. All right, and bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So to me, this is saying that you're really going to get some good ideas, and the creativity is going to start flowing for you guys as far as how to get more traction toward your goal. All right, from the Four Agreements deck, we have Don't Take Anything Personally, and it says Relinquish Self-Importance. All right. It says personal importance or taking things personally is the maximum expression of selfishness because we make the assumption that everything is about me. Interesting message there. I mean, there are some cards that could come out in the spread that would indicate someone who's in that energy, but I don't necessarily see you guys there at this time. But if anything, rather than saying that you're approaching that from an egotistical manner, right? Maybe it's more so when you feel like you haven't reached your goal, you might feel like, oh, the universe is against me, right? So not necessarily coming out of a position of ego, like, oh, everything's about me, but just more so feeling like, okay, if you are going through a tough stretch right now, that it's, some kind of a personal attack on you when it's just really more of a timing thing and energy needs to play itself out before you start to see the upward swing again. But either way, I hope it resonated. From the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, we have a leg up. There's the artwork, and the number is 34. Let's see what this has to say. All right, essential meanings says receiving help, delegating authority, interdependence. The Oracle's message: you've come to a point where going it alone is no longer optimal for you. Life has a way of presenting you with the perfect people to align with who can give you a leg up during the next phase of your journey. Help comes to you in all the areas of your life where you need a boost. The trick is to accept that aid so freely given. When you embrace interdependence, allowing teamwork and independence to commingle, miracles happen. Now is such a time. So definitely an interesting message there because that makes me think of the Two of Cups energy that we see in the foundation. And like I said, for some of you that can be a romantic thing, but for some of you that could be more of a business partnership as well, or even a friendship, really. Right? The relationship message says relationships that are healthy thrive on interdependence. It's important to recognize that you need others as much as they need you. You must allow people to support you just as you were there for them. This is the time to be vulnerable, to speak up about your needs, and to ask for them to be fulfilled. Trust, you'll be met with kindness and love. Don't expect others to read your mind, though. Ask, and it is given. So, yeah, definitely a positive message there as well, especially if this is more of a relationship dynamic that you're seeking guidance on, but hopefully it resonated. And the prosperity message says now is the perfect time to seek advice from a mentor or business advisor who has been where you want to go to help you get there too. If you do, you will receive very good counsel that will aid in your prosperity. It may also be the case that your endeavors have grown and you are in a position where you just can't do it all yourself anymore. Time to bring on those who can help give you a leg up. Trusted help is available and it will indeed appear. Delegate authority to others so you can take steps toward your big dream. The perfect people will arrive at the perfect time so long as you step forward with just a mustard seed of faith. So definitely an interesting message there, because for some of you, I saw this King of Pentacles as more of like, seeing your growth in your trajectory. But for some of you, this could be someone in your environment who is where you want to be. And it's someone that you can lean on this month to get guidance on how you could get there as well. So hopefully that resonates for you guys. We'll wrap up there and I'll see you all next month. All right. Bye.